All right. Hi, everyone. We are going to be talking about glass eyes from a moon-shaped pool. As with the previous presentation, we're going to go through aspects of form, rhythm and meter, harmony and voice leading, and timbre. We had pretty similar readings of this track. In most cases, they really complemented each other, so we're going to kind of swap back and forth and talk about those aspects of it, but there are a few instances where our readings differ, so we'll be sure to highlight those and talk about those more. So this form we both agree is a through composed form, which is demonstrated in the table. Is very clear. There are three sections, A, B, C sections in glass eyes, and the A section is from the beginning to 116, and B section is from 123 to 140, and there's another little B section which is a repeat of the former B section. It's from 141 and to 154. The last section, which is the shortest. All right. Hi, everyone. We are going to be talking about glass eyes from a moon-shaped pool. As with the previous presentation, we're going to go through aspects of form, rhythm and meter, harmony and voice leading, and timbre. We had pretty similar readings of this track. In most cases, they really complemented each other, so we're going to kind of swap back and forth and talk about those aspects of it, but there are a few instances where our readings differ, so we'll be sure to highlight those and talk about those more. So this form we both agree is a through composed form, which is demonstrated in the table. Is very clear. There are three sections, A, B, C sections in glass eyes, and the A section is from the beginning to 116, and B section is from 123 to 140, and there's another little B section which is a repeat of the former B section. It's from 141 and to 154. The last section, which is the shortest, is from 209 to 232. This form is very, I would like to say is very clear, but there is a potential terminal climax, which I think there is in the C section, but Evan don't agree. We will discuss later. Yeah. All right. So. I'll listen to a little bit of this so you get the section some. So this is obviously the intro. Fast forward a bit to the start of. Range of a fifth and goes from B flat to E flat, and then the C section has E flat down to the G. The other interesting thing with the three sections is the contour of the melody. So with the A section, it kind of hovers around this G and it goes down and comes back up at the end of the A section. The B section features more of a descent.
kind of from this B flat down to F. And then the C section is the only section that really features an upward trajectory in the vocal melody, so it ends on this high E flat. This is actually the end of the entire vocal melody. The accompaniment is then what carries it out through the end of the track.
So the lyrics is also very distinguished in each section. The A section, and there's no repeat except for the glassy eye light up day, which I think is like a refrain of this song's title. But as you can see, there's almost no repeat for the lyrics, and they are really different in each sections. And the C section, which I think is a terminal climax, also because it's also one point that the lyrics, this one sentence repeats like twice as the refrain of the title. So I feel it's another approve of the through composed idea.
So Ming started to get into why she thinks this is a terminal climax. I really just kind of disregarded it at the start as being a terminal climax because I felt like that was kind of like established in some of the other tracks of Radiohead by alternation with like kind of verse chorus form in the beginning of the track, and then at the end you kind of expected this chorus, but instead you got something new and bigger. I felt like the ending of this with the C section really seemed more like it was winding down. The vocal melody to me seems just really sustained, and I didn't feel like it added any sort of instrumentation to get more of like a drive to the end of the track. But Ming had a slightly different interpretation that maybe allows for a bit more flexibility with that.
Yeah. For me, my understanding of the terminal climax mentioned in Osborne's book, which is that there is one very different section which followed by the verse chorus form, and is more memorable than the verse and chorus, those two sections. But in this one, even though there's no verse and chorus, I still think the C section is very memorable than the other one because the vocal kind of reached the high point, which is the highest note is it's an E flat, and also those two E flat is in A flat chord, which is a sixth of the C minor. I think it's like a predominant chord for the entire piece, kind of emphasize the C minor, which we also kind of have disagreement with. I think it's like emphasize. I feel for me it feels like it's a return to the home key. So and also it's a very different harmony than the B section. So and even though the timbre doesn't like the texture doesn't like have many add-on, I still feel it was like really a high point for the entire piece because the A section and B section is very like not such really it's kind of calm, the melody, and there's no really climax for either A section and B section. So for me, when I hear the really highest notes reach at the C section, it's like a terminal climax for me. Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about rhythm and meter.
I will introduce the rhythm and meter, and the rhythm meter is very clear for it has 4/4 rhythm, and there's only one exception in the intro, which is which when the synthesized timbre emerge and kind of disturb the perception of the pulse, we will play that section for you to help you to understand that. And also, at the beginning of the introduction, the keyboard gets quieter towards the top register, which at first I feel it's a 7-beat, which like is have a rest, 1-beat rest. But if you listen carefully, it's only the piano gets quieter towards the top. It's still continuing. And also the at the start of the second time piano has the arpeggiate figure, it sounds out of the synthesizer.
Out of
Yeah,
sync.
sync.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
this was something interesting that we both noticed. Like, if you listen really carefully, it feels like the piano's not quite together with itself. So, and there's some talk time out there. Get ready for that. Oops, sorry. All right. Hi, everyone. We are going to be talking about Glass Eyes from A Moon-Shaped Pool. As with the previous presentation, we're going to go through aspects of form, rhythm and meter, harmony and voice leading, and timbre. We had pretty similar readings of this track. In most cases, they really complemented each other, so we're going to kind of swap back and forth and talk about those aspects of it, but there are a few instances where our readings differ, so we'll be sure to highlight those and talk about those more.
So this form we both agree is a through composed form, which is demonstrated in the table. Is very clear. There are 3 sections, A, B, C sections in Glass Eyes, and the A section is from the beginning to 116, and B section is from 123 to 140, and there's another little B section, which is a repeat of the former B section. It's from 141 and to 154. The last section, which is the shortest, is from 209 to 232. This form is very, I would like to say is very clear, but there is a potential terminal climax, which I think there is in the C section, but Evan don't agree. We will discuss later. Yeah.
All right. So. We'll listen to a little bit of this so you get the section some. So this is obviously the intro. Fast forward a bit to the start of.
It's like a phone call to themselves or to someone else. And also, so that synthesized timbre for me is like the sounds in the phone call, like really old phone kind. And also the lyrics are like, it's like all door and like place of nothing. So I assume it's a very weak signal, please. So the like disturbed pause, I feel is kind of the weak signal, kind of got like disturbed. That's what I feel of the synthesized timbre. But in the live, any live performance, the synthesized timbre does not appear. So we'll play. Yeah.
You know when you've got takeout on your chest and light around your feet, and then you realize the remote?
The other thing with the timbres that's interesting, that some of the strings are presented in like different instrument groups, so there's not as much like timbral variation in terms of source deformation in this track, but you do get some different timbres present. So like the low sustain in the bass. To accompany the vocals, intro, and then there's an increase in the treble violin sounds in the B section particularly. And then the cello takes over the figure that was in the keyboard accompaniment to end the track, which I thought was pretty cool. Right. So now we're going to talk about harmony and voice leading and our differing opinions.
Yeah. As I first hear it, I noticed that the start and the end, the chords is both C minor, which and also in each section, kind of have the like suggestion of the C minor. So I feel it's a C minor sound, but Evan kind of disagree. And also the other evidence proves my C minor point is there's A flat major chord before the C minor, which is like a plagal cadence. With the A flat major is like a predominant chord for the cadence, even though there is no resolution or any cadential feel, then I still get the sound of the resolution and the cadence. Sorry.
So I also heard the C minor like at the beginning and the end, and kind of got that as a potential, but for me I feel like it's really like almost undefined and kind of vacillates between this C minor and an E flat major reading. To me, the vocal melody, if you look at that by itself, it seems to go more along with an E flat major, even though the harmony doesn't really support it. So that's like at the beginning of the track with the vocals, and that's the last of the vocals. So you can see that the E flat at the end, where to me it seems like the vocal line is resolving up, but it's presenting the fifth of the A flat chord. So that kind of goes more along with maybe a C minor rating in the harmony. I also felt like there was maybe like B flat emphasis, kind of like going up to a fifth in the B section, but that harmony doesn't really fit either since it's minor. So as you can see, we kind of have different interpretations of that, but a lot of our ideas were really similar.